History made in Omaha tonight. Good evening, I'm Brian Mastry. John Ewing officially is sworn in as the city's 52nd mayor. First Alert 6 reporter Johan Marin picks it up from there. Johan, big crowd at City Hall tonight.
That's right, Brian. There's a lot of positivity from both the community and city members tonight. They believe this evening marks a new chapter for Omaha. History unfolding in the legislative chambers tonight as the community welcomes its first elected black mayor in Omaha history.
I, John W. Ewing Jr., do solemnly swear.
As John Ewing Jr. took the oath, he thanked his family and friends, pointing out that he sees his role as to continue moving the city forward. He also highlighted key issues affecting the city.
We'll report that poverty is on the rise. This is a challenge that we'll have to confront together. And together we can do and meet those challenges that face us as a community as we look to address pressing issues.
Ewing commended former Mayor Jean Stothert for her 12 years of public service. 7 city council members also took the oath this evening, including the only new member, Lavanya Goodwin.
I look forward to serving under your tenure and doing great work for this city.
In Omaha, I'm Johan Marin, First Alert 6.
Honor for everything that you've done.
Mayor Ewing served as a deputy chief with the Omaha Police Department for 25 years. He served most recently as the Douglas County Treasurer. Also tonight, city council elections took place. Danny Begley is the new council president. Brinker Harding is the council vice president.